So taking a break from cleaning up my office, I come across a tweet about how credit card companies are tracking gun purchases. So this is for advertisers and marketers who, and as well as gun owners who don't understand that your purchases are being tracked no matter what you do. So I posted here for those who didn't know, all bank and credit cards track purchase behavior and sell that data to marketers, and you can purchase those mailing lists. And I'll give you a couple examples here. I'm Justin Hitt from Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips. If there's an audience that you want to reach, there is a mailing list for them. The privacy has been dead in America for hundreds of years. So if I wanted a complete list of conservative gun owners, I could go out here to Nextmark and I could find a list of conservative gun owners. There are 795,000 of them. Of course, the list is not complete. There would be people that wouldn't be on this list, but ultimately there is a gun registry of gun owners who are specifically conservative. If I wanted one that was of liberals, I could get that. Of libertarians, I could get that as well. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is important, not to fear what people can track, but also how to profit from it, is that there's also a gun owners list here. So you could test individual lists that includes the age, gender, ethnicity, and also buying habits of 270 million civilian firearm owners. So this is a available mailing list. Now, there's a lot of talk about specific types of firearms. And so here's a firearms mailing list here that has female gun owners. Notice how there are more female gun owners in this particular database than there are male gun owners. What does that tell you about why people purchase weapons? And also anti-gun control contributors. You can rent the list specifically of the 123 anti-gun control contributors. Now, again, we can go by birth date, gender and sex, household incomes. So if you were a politician who wanted to go after low-income people who own firearms, because that's originally why many of the firearm advocacy groups are available, is because minority groups were excluded from the ownership of any weapons or firearms. These lists are still in existence. You can speak specifically to concealed weapons owners. We're going to get into the benefit here, but there's a lot of talk about AR-15s. If you wanted a consumer email list of AR-15 assault rifle owners, there's actually large volume mailing lists available. And here's a sample of some of those other lists that are available. So whether you want to reach acupuncturists, actors and entertainers, accountants in America, there is a mailing list for each of these lists. So we should be less concerned about the lists existing and more active in how we benefit or profit from these lists. So if you have concealed carry holders, you may want to omit them from the larger male or female audience list in order to make a concealed carry offer. So if you're offering a training course on concealed carry, you don't want to send it to people who already have their concealed carry. So this particular mailing list would help. Now, if we go back here to gun owners in general, we may want to look at younger gun owners, those who are 18, 19, they got their first firearm, and you may want to offer them training courses for safety, as well as recreational opportunities to join gun clubs or even advocacy programs. You may want to find single women who own guns and get them training on how to use the weapons more effectively. Now, if you're doing a political fundraiser and you want to look at high income, affluent conservative gun owners in non-typical states, then you can go in here and do a select on the financial and also narrow it down on whether they've, you can basically DNC right here. You can get the ones that you can call, because political activities you can call for fundraising. So you want to get the ones that are on the they're not on the do not call, that are in your right financial area. Give them a personal call and donate and gain funds. How did I find these lists? I simply put mailing list for gun owners in a search engine. There is already a list of every gun owner. So all of this advice to, to buy using cash and to, go in there and secretly get your weapons, protect your rights, whether it's freedom of speech, because we can also look for political parties here. Um, Protect your freedom of speech by exercising it. Protect your right to bear arms by actually helping with the education and changing the perception of gun owners, as whether it's their set by increasing their skill set or increasing their safety understanding, or in fact going to people who are perhaps new gun owners and help them have a better experience with their first firearm. But again, some of these lists are pretty revealing, especially when you find out that the large multiple are female gun owners. So if you really want to empower women, why not allow them to have guns? And if you want to profit from the fact that that these lists already exist and have existed for hundreds of years. You want to go into the markets of safety, self-defense, recreational sports, and hunting, and you leverage these lists as a marketer to reach these audiences, to get them the best experience possible, to help them have a more positive engagement with the recreation or self-defense use of their firearm, and then to build a stronger community rather than worrying about whether Visa or MasterCard are tracking your information. Every bank account is giving at a transactional level to the FDIC on a sometimes daily basis in order to support the FDIC's insurance that pays for the account. Now, why do they need to have daily transactions? It's because whether or not this data is being used, the data is easy to collect. So individual transactions, whether it's a digital currency or the current financial currency we have today, they're being tracked. What we do with that is the most valuable thing. If you have a desire to have your transactions not be seen, then there's actually anti-money laundering laws that would prevent that. So there's a big overhaul of the system which is necessary. So it always goes back to having a strong community of like minds and interests, uh, working for mutual gain and benefit in these groups, and marketing is a great way of doing this. And by the way, this complete list of conservative gun owners was sourced from government records and compiled lists. So it's actually, the government may not have the ability to track the ownership of guns or the registration of weapons in a digital format, but they could simply just go buy a mailing list, cross-reference it. The data is readily available. So I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's copywriting tips, encouraging you to learn how marketing works, to understand the power of copywriting, whether you write copy yourself or you hire a copywriter to do it for you. Understand that it is better to use this information that is there. It is always going to be there. It has been there since the beginning. The original mailing list of gun owners was probably living Civil War veterans. Use the information to create and keep profitable customers, to serve your fellow man and women and across the board, and create communities of interest. Again, you can ask questions at www.adbriefings.co.uk, and we're here to help marketers and copywriters grow their ability in a marketplace. You don't have to sit around and wait for customers to show up. If you've got a small business and gun owners are the type of customers that you want, you can easily find them. We can help you find them. We can help you market to them in a positive way. And if you don't like guns, you could rent the list just the same as anybody else and send materials encouraging people to give up their guns and join your movement. That's how a free market economy works.